Appreciate you. Steven Saint with the 10. What's going on? What's going on? We got some crazy debates going on today. We got some crazy shit going on today. We got Laura Loomer attacking yours truly. The confrontation everybody's always been waiting for. It was only a matter of time. Gorilla Max, what's up? I have a special message for the Laura Loomer types. I want to tell you guys something. If you guys want the streams to start early, get the fuck in early. Stop fucking... You know how it is. The tragedy of the commons. It's the tragedy of the commons. It's like if everyone was just here within 5 minutes, bam, right? But people went, oh, he's going to start late. He's going to start late. Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, ye of little faith. The tragedy of the commons. Anyway, I have a message for Laura Loomer fans. I have a message for the Laura Loomer fans, for the so-called true American patriots who consider themselves freedom-loving patriots. I have a message for the normal... Frightful, what's up? I have a message for the... Because I was looking at Laura Loomer fans, they're all botted, but there are some Laura Loomer fans. They tend to be quite older. And I have a message directly for Laura Loomer fans, okay? Direct message for Laura Loomer fans. Rabbi, what's up with the 5, bro? Appreciate you. I can't find this scary fucking jihad music. I can't fucking find it. I see this stupid fucking shit. Fuck YouTube. Anyway, I have a message for the Laura Loomer fans, the true fans of Laura Loomer. I have a direct message to them. Sharia law is coming. It is not up for debate. You will submit to Sharia law. And immediately, effective immediately, your testosterone levels as menopausal males will be measured. And if they fall below the critical threshold, you will wear a burqa. You will, and it is not for negotiation. This is happening. Everywhere in the country, it's happening. The Sharia patrols will check your testosterone levels. If they fall below critical thresholds, you are wearing a burqa. It is happening now. Oh my God, Islam! Oh my God! Oh my God, Islam! So I was thinking we do a Twitter space talking to the Laura Loomer heads, the Laura Loomer fans. So why don't we do that? Shall we? But that's dependent on some things. EZ with the 10. What's going on, bro? That is contingent on an important factor, and the important factor has to do with you, the guerrilla army. You have to be on the fucking case and boost the shit out of the space. And I'm not sure what your guys' energy levels. I need some reassurance when it comes to your guys' energy levels. I need to see some sun gorillas. I need to see some kind of change that shows you guys are high energy and you're in this shit. You're in it to win it. Because, you know, it's just this low energy vibe that I get sometimes when you need to wake the fuck up, right? So, indeed. It's not even fast enough, though. The problem is these sun gorillas are not even going fast enough. That's the main issue, is they're not even going fast enough. They need to go like 10 times faster. Okay? So I need everyone's pledge that you're going to boost the shit out of this space with everything you got. And I'm going to pin it right at the chat. I'm going to pin it on top of the chat. It's going to be pinned. You can find it. You have to boost this space with everything you got because we're going into the eye of the storm. We're going to investigate and see for ourselves whether or not Laura Loomer actually has real fans or whether this whole thing is they're all botted. I want to talk to an actual Laura Loomer fan because every time I see one, in my replies, they look like they're bots. They look like AI. They don't look real. I don't see any real Laura Loomer fans. Laura Loomer has come after me, if you didn't know. Larry Loomer, they've came after me. They quote tweeted me because I pointed it out. And they're like, you know, this Muslim terrorist from Dearborn. Okay, so. All right. All right, the space is up. And you guys know you have to do what you have to do. You have to play the part on your end. You have to ensure that this is going to be properly boosted. And we're going to pin it right now. You guys have to boost the shit out of this space. Like, I'm talking like it's a must. It's a must. It's not even, it's part of Sharia law. You guys have to boost this. Sharia law. Hold on, let's, can I edit this space? Joseph. Didn't Joseph speak last time? Hold on. Give me 1 second. I gotta figure out how to edit this. Okay, Laura. Okay. There we go. Now it's a proper space. All right. Joseph wants to speak right off the bat. So we're getting right into it. Go ahead, Joseph. Go ahead. Go ahead, unmute yourself and speak.
Hey, howdy. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's up? No, I'm not a Laura Loomer faggot, but I just wanted to have the ability to speak. You know, I can chime in. Why do you need just one speaker?
It's really about the Laura Loomer fans. We want to hear these people and hear if they're actually human. All it would take is to have a few of them to show up so that we can confirm whether they're human or not, or if they're bots.
Okay. Okay.
So that's really the thing. But yeah. So we need to bring on the Laura Loomer fans, and we have to talk about the imminent threat of Islamic communism and what that means and what it is, and how it's totally not just a cynical thing that was created by some Zionist Jews who are projecting their own ethnic insecurities onto who know very well the racial anxieties and the mistrust of foreigners that Westerners have, and they're very much cynically exploiting it. It's so sad. But as an actual Islamic communist, the real one, the only one, probably, I thought that, you know, why all this hubbub about Islamic communism when I'm not part of the picture? I mean, I'm the one who's basically the face of Islamic communism, Muslim communism. So we have to find the Laura Loomer fans. We have to bring them up. Sewell is part of the Armenian... the Armenians, they've always been these enablers. They've just helped the Sharia law spread. And Sewell's part of that right now. So he's helping bring Sharia law to it. No one's safe. No one's safe. So we will wait for the Laura Loomer fans, if they exist, which I don't think they do. Anyone from the right wing, honestly, who's concerned about the rise of communism or Islam or both at the same time, that would be great, you know? How did it come to this? This is so incredible. How did it come to this? ACP won't survive the coming months. Game over. Game over. Sounds like a real threat. Situation is out of control. The authorities are getting active. ACP won't survive the coming months. Wow, sounds very scary. Sounds very intimidating. Sounds very terrifying. Sounds very scary. Mountain home, they call you Yellowstone. So where are the Laura Loomer fans? I don't know. The people who are afraid of or who anticipate the rise of Sharia law. Sharia law. ABC. Wow, ABC with the 5. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, ABC. I was on TikTok the other day. I literally saw an AI video of a biker. It's an AI biker being like, hey guys, we can't take this anymore. We got to go to Dearborn, Michigan, and we have to stop the spread of Islam. Join me if you're with me. And then you go into the comments. It's like these old people like, hell yeah. And the guy, it was AI. I was like, who made that? I'm going to just say it, okay? It's a combination of Indians and Israel or Florida Jews. That's what it is. Those two groups are the source of all this. Yo, what's up? Oso, Samila, what's going on? But who's making the AI videos? I don't know, you know? Sewell, Joseph already came on, but Joseph, what's going on?
Yeah, I was wanted, why don't we at Laura Loomer and ask her to debate?
That would be great. I just don't think they will, but because they have 2 million followers and they're kind of in the big leagues, I guess, they don't need to lower themselves to someone as insignificant as I, right? So insignificant compared to the mighty Laura Loomer. So, yeah. It's a long shot. I'm not against it, but it's a long shot that Laura Loomer will show up to a space like this. Frankly, you know? But people can try. You know what's funny about Laura Loomer is I did not even at them in my original tweet, but they found it somehow and hit dogs holler. What can I say? Looking back, I should have just replied to Laura just saying hit dogs holler and that's it. Because why did she quote tweet it? That is the most botted phenomena on the internet is the Laura Loomer thing. It is. I'm asking questions and they immediately shut it down. My question is, and I'm going to repeat myself again. I have never in real life encountered a Laura Loomer fan in real life. I have never actually met someone who fucks with Laura Loomer. I have never ever found anything like that. And I'm looking shoulder to shoulder and everyone's asking the same questions. Who the fuck are these people? Who are the Loomer heads? And we're like, what kind of person is a Loomer head? I've never seen it. No one I know has seen it. We're all trying to figure out where do the Loomer heads come from? Who are Laura Loomer fans? I genuinely doubt these people exist. Okay? So I'm starting to ask questions about whether this is a real thing. Maybe because you live in the American Mecca. No, I don't. I'm not talking about Dearborn people. I'm talking about in all my travels across the country. I'm a very well-traveled person. I have a lot of experience being around all sorts of different people, around white people a lot as well. And I'm saying, like, I've talked to Trump supporters, I've talked to Republicans, I've talked to Lincoln Republicans, I've heard of those people, Democrats. I have never, ever heard of a Laura Loomer fan in real life, ever. I'm just wondering where it's coming from. How can it be so viral on X, and yet in real life, nobody has ever seen these people ever? Well, because I think it's pretty clear that this is a botted, astroturfed phenomena. Laura Loomer is exactly the idea of a cheap, sleazy, 50-year-old Jew from Tel Aviv or something. One of these Likudnik, cheap. You know, the retard, the high IQ Jews, they tend to be embarrassed by a lot of this, and so they kind of just desist themselves from involvement. But then you have the retard ones, And they are so stupid that they're like, yeah, Laura Loomer would be a great idea. Like, they genuinely think Laura Loomer is a great, like, yeah, this is totally, the American public will buy this. And so Laura Loomer comes from the low IQ Jewish astroturfing, the Israeli Zionist Jewish astroturfing, I should rather say. And I guess the smart ones are in the tunnel or something. They're definitely not involved in the Loomer phenomena. No, that's just the truth. I mean, these people, they don't seem real. If you look at their comments and the replies, they look bots. They look like. Am I coping when I say this? They look like they're bots. The sentences do not look man-made. I've never seen these people. They are AI. They don't. You know what I mean? I have to say something. The Sephardic Jews are quite smart. Sephardic Jews are actually quite. For some reason, I don't want to stereotype because there's good and bad in equal measure in everyone. But Sephardic Jews are probably the best Jews there are. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but they're like quite smart actually. And I've never seen them lower themselves to this cheap, sleazy Ben Shapiro bullshit type of thing. You know, that guy that was a philosopher from the Al-Andalus, what was his name? I can't pronounce his name. I know his name, though. It was... I can't... Maimon... I don't know how to say it, but I know who that is. Okay? And, maybe that's why, you know? American Jews should feel deeply embarrassed. They honestly should. I know I would, you know, it's like... So, in any case, but Laura Loomer is the cynical idea of someone out of touch. Yeah, we're going to astroturf this to counterbalance all the anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, anti-Semitic, pro-Iran stuff on the internet. And I think that's what's going on. I'm open to other... I mean, all it would take is really a few of these Laura Loomer fans to actually, you know, speak up and confirm that they're human. AI is not at the level where it can simulate joining a space and pretending to be a person with their voice in real time. Although in a few years, it probably will be there. So for now. Yeah, there is that guy who just dropped in here. This is one of the days and actions you are going to regret. Mark my words. Oh, because I threatened that that Sharia law is coming and every man who's a Laura Loomer fan, who's menopausal, and their testosterone levels when they get checked, if it falls below a certain threshold, they're going to have to wear a burqa. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. I'm going to regret that. I'm so scared of the... I'm so scared. You're right. I'm so scared. I'm so terrified. I'm so afraid. I am so afraid. I'm so terrified. I'm so scared. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to regret... Why is this guy's username like Lennon? He's like a Laura Loomer head. What a weird thing going on in our chat. What a weird thing. What a weird thing. It's like this guy... Hold on. Let me show you the mystery of Custom Lennon 87. I'm going to, you know, I know you feds get upset when I detect you and I can sniff you out because I have remote viewing capabilities and I can intuit these things. But Custom Lennon has never spoken in this chat in all of history. They've never spoken. They have been following our channel since February 25th, 2025, which lines up with when I was in Lebanon for the funeral of Sayyid Nasrallah. So this person who named themselves Custom Lennon 87 followed the channel, joined Kick, and followed on February 25th, 2025. And for the first time ever, they are commenting in the chat. Making ominous threats about how the ACP is not going to survive. And that, you know, Laura Loomer is X, Y, and Z, and Laura Loomer is going to come after us. You tell me, this is someone trying to... This is the most low-effort, low-quality Fed I've ever seen. They named their name Custom Lennon 87 to blend in with us. Great takia, by the way. They joined Kick February 25th and then followed my channel on the same day. And the only time they ever comment is to make ominous threats about how this is the end of the ACP. Is anyone seeing this? Adam Tahir is going down. Adam Tahir is going down. Shoot me. Come kill me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do as if I care? What are you going to do? You think I care? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Honestly, what do you have that's going to make me fear you? Nothing. Nothing. So silly. So silly. I mean, it would be nice to finish some of my writings first. That would be nice, but ultimately, if anything happens to me, then my writings will go to someone else and they'll compile them and they'll publish them. It'll be fine. So nothing, there's nothing. What do I have to fear? I'm just trying to think about it. Just think about it. Like what, I won't have Doritos anymore? Who gives a fuck? I won't even be around to give a fuck, right? I don't know why people find this to be such a crazy like way of looking at life, but it makes total sense to me. Why live in fear of what? What a pathetic existence. Sad. So we don't have any requests from Laura Loomer fans. We might have to change the topic. Might have to change the topic. Guys, there's no Laura Loomer fans. Again, we're waiting for them. I'm sure you guys have already spammed these Laura Loomer people. I'm sure you've already tried and there's nothing. Have you guys seen that Fed that was in our chat, though? How fucking crazy is that? How crazy that you saw this Fed in our chat? The actual Fed. Actual Fed. Why are they, like, making these threats? How unprofessional is that? They just, the quality of the, whatever you even call these people, the quality of the glowies has just gone down by a lot. The anti-Reddit, yeah, the Reddit stuff about ACP. Yeah, we may have to change the topic of this space because okay, I think we can confirm there are no Laura Loomer fans, okay? So it's like there are no Laura Loomer fans. They don't exist. Hold on, maybe there's one. Hold on. No, the Zoran guy came on last time. Isn't that guy who said Palestine deserves it? And he's claiming to be a Muslim. He's like some Mossad weirdo. All right, well, we've exhausted the Loomers. All right. So you guys are talking about the crazy shit going on Reddit. Well, ABC, what's up? Well, I told you guys, didn't I tell you months ago how we're pursuing a video essay initiative and we're going to have multiple channels involved? And the way we're going to be creating a pipeline to the ACP is through creating high-quality introductory educational content. And people are now seeing it's successful on multiple different channels. RTSG just put out a great banger that's going pretty viral. because they took my thumbnail advice. And now Reddit is the secondary discursive reaction, and they're fucking gatekeeping and crying about it, and it's just their feds. These are not real people. Redditors are not real people. That's another thing. If you ever see a Redditor in real life, okay, in a video game, if I ever saw one of these Redditors that have so much vitriol foaming at the mouth at ACP, they would never bring me that energy in real life because I would just slap the shit out of them. Like, Jesus Christ, why do you hate ACP so much to the point you're so passionate about it? Well, they're not. They're feds. It's just, they're feds. Reddit is the most, it's not even feds. It's AI that's managed by the feds. They're not human beings. It's like, even 10 years ago, they had technology. 14 years ago, they had technology where one soldier or whatever, employee of the Eglin Air Base, could manage like 20, 30 different accounts. So imagine what they have now, right? So it's fucking crazy. But, the thing is, people, I think it would be an incredible abuse. If feds are genuinely in the chat harassing me, like directly making threats, that is not... That can be uncovered in a Jane Doe lawsuit. That's not private information, so good luck with that. So here's Ray. Go ahead, Ray. Like making these ominous threats.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, are you a Laura Loomer fan? Like a real one?
Okay, thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Are you a Laura Loomer fan?
No, I think she's disgusting. I think she's just a horrible person. I'm not sure what the decorum is for this space, but I mean, bro, Laura Loomer is just, honestly, I actually doxed her once, and I got my X account suspended. It was banned, actually.
Well, okay, my question is, are there real Laura Loomer fans? That's what I want to know. Are there real Laura Loomer fans? Does Laura Loomer have any genuine human fans?
I think they're just all like Zionist. To answer your question, because there's always context. I like to always give context. If you were to determine someone's, follow, I think people's like followers are just inflated on X.
Okay, but hold on. Have you ever met a Laura Loomer fan ever?
They're all Zionists.
Have you met one?
I'll be honest. Actually, to answer your question, no.
Yeah, have you met a Trump fan?
I haven't met a Laura Loomer fan in person because...
Yeah, haven't you met every other kind of thing, though? Like, you've met Trump fans, you've probably met Kamala fans. Hell, you probably met pro-Israel people in your life. You've probably met all sorts of different people who are fans of all different sorts of things. But I've never met anyone who's ever met a fan of Laura Loomer. I've never seen that ever.
I think the question is I've never asked. I've never asked because I didn't think there was...
Have you ever seen anyone who's just like, yeah, Laura Loomer's the way to go. Laura Loomer's correct. Have you ever encountered any... Laura Loomer has 2 million followers, so where are the human beings that support Laura Loomer? How come we never run into them ever?
I'll be honest with you, I think like when it comes to followers and X, half of them are bots. Okay?
It's not half. It's probably a lot more than half, if I'm being honest. I don't think Laura... Okay, hold on. Maybe this is a Laura Loomer fan. It's not a Laura Loomer fan. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. I think you're right, man. It could be over half. Yeah. I mean,
yo, what's going on? Thank you, Ray, for coming on. Though we're really trying to search for these Laura Loomer fans. Go ahead, Dog. What's up?
Yeah, hi. I guess I'd just like to speak on the whole Laura Loomer thing, because like for me, it's like the main thing about me that just like turns her off about me, because it's like for like the
Thanks
first
for coming
like
on, but I didn't ask what you like about. I'm not. This is not a Laura Loomer therapy session. This is where are the Laura Loomer fans? Drink. Go ahead. Are you a Laura Loomer fan?
Hold on. So you're talking about the demographics of...
Yeah. Are you a Laura Loomer fan?
Obviously not.
Well, how would I know?
Really not. Well, I mean, because they're never gonna join a space with you know, an ACP person, I imagine.
Yeah, but what about to debate or to yell at me or to give me a piece of their mind if they're so angry and stuff, right?
I mean, yeah. So what I was getting at is that most of the viewer base or follower base of Laura Loomer are probably bots, but the ones that aren't, they're probably just old boomers. They don't even know how to join a Twitter space, probably. So that's what I'm saying.
No, there's no. So you think it's just old people then?
Yeah, and the portion of fans that's actually real, it's just old people. You know, Fox boomers basically. Have you guys looked into the demographics of Fox News? Or
Well,
what's
I'm
it
not.
called?
I don't.
CNN?
I don't know what's going on. I didn't even know television still existed. I'm just wondering who is the fans of. So it is just old people who support Laura
I mean,
Loomer.
listen.
Let me tell you something. I thought that true. I thought that too. Okay, because I was looking into the comments and replies to see what kind of person is a fan of Laura Loomer, and I saw this like Jewish Miami guy who's old, who's like some guy who's like, yeah, I live in South Florida. Yeah, typical scumbag Florida pervert, old fuck who's a fan of Laura Loomer, right? Then I scroll through their profile and get this. That person was a fucking AI. It wasn't even a real person. They uploaded videos of themselves talking, and it's like an AI. It was made by AI, and their photos were made by Grok.
Hey, Hawes.
Yeah.
All right, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. So first,
Are you a Laura Loomer fan?
yes.
Okay, hold on. So this is an actual Laura Loomer fan. Hold on. We got to make sure this is real. I'm pretty sure you're a troll. Haven't you come on the space before to troll?
All right, I ain't gonna lie. I am a troll, but I have a serious question. Like, I'm adversarial. I'm like not bullshitting.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So first, do you accept that hundreds of thousands of Russians have died in the
I don't
SMO?
know. I have no idea what the real statistics on that are.
Well, can you throw out a number?
Huh?
Can you throw out a number? Like, what would you say?
I just told you I have no idea what the numbers are.
Okay, so question: if it is in the hundreds of thousands, at what point do we drop the support for Russia and just call them?
Even if it's trillions, they'll never drop support.
Even if hundreds of thousands of people getting just massacred by drones like all the time.
Even if it's hundreds of trillions, I will never turn on Russia ever.
Interesting. Well, that's all I got.
I want to be clear with people about something too, by the way, because people are confused about my attitude toward countries like Russia, even China, for example. The existence of Russia is itself what you would typically call intrinsically historically progressive. Same thing with the existence of China. Why? I'll tell you. Because following the first imperialist war, what we call World War I, every single one of those countries was condemned to balkanization. Russia was condemned to balkanization. China, after the Chinese Revolution and the Japanese imperialist invasion, was condemned. I mean, it was already a warlord era in China. It's only on account of communism that you have a country called Russia. Only on account of communism that you have the territorial integrity and unity of China. Without Marxism, without communism, they would have gone down the path of the Middle East. So if there were Bolsheviks in the Ottoman Empire, that would have been preserved. The territorial integrity of all of these, the Ottoman space would have been preserved. The Middle East is what it is because it wasn't. Austria-Hungary, that created the disaster of the Balkans. So all of these giant empires, they all balkanized, except Russia and China and so on and so on. And there's a reason for that. The reason is Marxism, right? Russia, its existence is intrinsically, Russia is a reflection of the soul of humanity. If you're against Russia, you hate humanity. Russia cannot be evil. People are like, well, what if an evil? That's not possible. Russia is intrinsically good. It is intrinsically good. Doesn't even matter who's in charge. It's intrinsically good for as long as it can exist. When evil forces come to power in Russia, Russia won't exist anymore. It will balkanize. It will split apart. right? Same thing in China. China is intrinsically good. Russia is intrinsically good. Because I'm gonna explain this to people who are confused and are kind of stupid, right? The existence of that type of civilizational state, which is what Zhang Weiwei calls them, depends upon the supremacy of a universal principle, a human universal principle. So globalist American liberalism talks about human rights and a universal notion of humanity. Well, this is a real concrete form of universal humanity in Russia and in China and so on and so on. So they have a supreme principle of the universal that concretely exists, right? That unites people across tribes and ethnicities and even religions and so on and so on. And that is intrinsically good from the perspective of Marxism. So, yeah, Russia is intrinsically good. And I don't care about, I'm not a humanitarian. The war is awful. War is awful, okay? No one thinks the war in Ukraine is great in terms of what the human cost of it was or is, but there is never going to be a reason I'm going to stop rooting for Russia or sympathizing with Russia or supporting Russia, because Russia is intrinsically good. And as someone who's familiar with the history of the Middle East, Russia is fighting against the forces of Balkanization right now. You need to think about that very deeply. Even in the past 4 years, if it's been hell for 4 years, if Russia is not successful, they will be condemning themselves and the people of Ukraine and the people of Belarus to decades, maybe even a century of conflict and bloodshed and suffering and misery. Okay? Hip, what's up, man? It's like you got to think long term. The Middle East, since the end of the Ottoman state, it's been a mess. And that's the future of Russia and of Ukraine and so on and so on, if this is not resolved in Russia's favor. So however bad it is now, or however bad it's been in the past 4 years, if the only way to get to the root cause of these kinds of conflicts is to resolve them in a way that makes petty nationalism and balkanization impossible. So we're talking about decades and generations of people living with dignity and prosperity and happiness at the expense and at the cost of, I can't even say at the expense, because who's to say there wouldn't have been this hardship anyway, right? So this is the truth. The Maidan caused such an instability. Russia was forced. I mean, the people of Russia were forced to respond to this, because existentially the future of everyone is at stake. So this is why I support Russia always. Doesn't matter what the politics are, actually, in terms of who's in power. Same thing with China, by the way. I always, even before Xi Jinping, when it wasn't so great politically, still I'm rooting for China. Always I'm rooting for China. Always I'm rooting for Russia. Always I'm rooting for China. And it's quite simple why I'm rooting for them, because I'm rooting for humanity. I am rooting for humanity. And I'll tell you another thing. In some sense, I'm also rooting, of course, I'm rooting for America and Americans. But I'm not rooting for the wicked regime that occupies us and condemns us to hell. I'm not rooting for the regime that the people of this country have given their consent somewhere along the line, but which has done nothing but use, abuse, and squander all of the wealth and talent and people of this nation. They've squandered it, right? The regime that occupies America right now is the thing driving the country off a cliff. And it alone is responsible for the decades of balkanization that are coming to America, which are unavoidable. So when people say, "Oh, you don't root for America because you're not rooting for the regime," listen. You know, it's people like Laura Loomer, in all honesty, I'm going to be frank and honest with you. Laura Loomer and those patriots, you know, they are the biggest enemies of America, because what they're doing is accelerating the collapse of what we call America. I'm not happy about it. I'm not sad about it. I just understand it's objectively here. I'm just sober enough to understand it's unavoidable. And that trying to prevent it actually accelerates it, right? So we have to come to new terms in terms of discovering a universal principle for our nation, just as the Russians and Chinese have. And if we don't do that, we too will become like the Middle East, right? So this is my take, okay? So when people tell me about how, oh, well, why do you support Russia? It's like, it's so much bigger than what you think. You're such a petty, stupid person. This is about the universal state, as Kojev described it, right? Russia is not a petty ethnic nationalist country, okay? Russia's a big country. Same thing with China. China is a very big thing. Big. Big. It's big, it's not small. And I'm not just talking about territory. I'm talking about a universal, truly universal. And people say, well, it's not unqualified universality. Yes, it's a concrete universality. I agree. But take China, for example, with its vast, it's powerful, it's comprehensive, it's exhaustive notion of heaven, of Tian, and how there's a human heaven resonance. And all of us are open to heaven above us. Like, it's above us, and it's this deeper order of all existence. This is such a big, you have no idea how unfathomably big this outlook is. And it's the same in Russia. Same thing in Russia has an understanding of cosmos, okay? Of a universal humanity. And in a sense, a universal empire, not in the bad sense of the word empire, a supreme principle, right? Of universal justice and mercy and truth and so on and so on. So these countries are defenders of humanity. If you support humanity, you have to support Russia and China. It's as simple as that. You have to root for the people of the world to find a way to discover these universal principles that are different faces and reflections of all mankind, right? So, yeah, people think there's some inconsistency in my view, and they go, well, what about ideologically? Ideology is tiny. It's small. Ideology is actually very small, okay? Ideas, those are the same thing as conceits. An idea is a thing that you're reflecting into your head and you're putting it onto a pedestal. But how many different ways are there for something to be reflected in your head? It's the patterns that matter, the deeper pattern. That's the only thing that matters, right? So people who have a small and petty understanding of things in this way, you just can't even speak to such people or take them seriously. Such a pettiness, such a smallness. A lot of people hate me because they're demons. They're demonic. Demons hate me. Demonic people hate me. That's just the truth. If you hate me, there's something evil. You're an evil fucking person. You're evil, you're demonic, and although I don't see you because I don't look at ugly freaks, I do smell you and detect you. And I am coming. Yo, yeah. So, but anyway, Laura Loomer, I'm the perfect cartoon character for Laura Loomer for sure, because I'm the only... Laura Loomer's so funny, because Laura Loomer will call all these Democrats Islamic communists. That doesn't even make any sense, but am I... And I'm actually an Islamic communist when you think about it. It makes total sense in my case. I'm the only one for whom this label and this term applies. And yet these people are dead silent when it comes to... And how do you... I just want to know who these... they're old people. Yeah. I thought that too, I did. But then I clicked on the profile of one of these old people, and it turned out to be an AI. And I'm like, who is this? Like Mossad? You know, I have to tell you something. As an Islamic communist with a very big worldview, a very big outlook, not a petty small one. I yawn at this. Whatever you petty ethno-narcissistic Zionist Jews are doing, you are so small. Your spite and your low vibration, petty ethnic spite, it's so low IQ, it's so just obvious to everyone, it's so transparent how low you are, how petty and cheap and trashy it is. And it makes me pity you. I feel so bad for you. You're stuck in this prison where you're just stuck with this. It's so sad. That guy, go ahead. Are you an actual Laura Loomer fan? Go ahead. I think they disappeared. I brought them up and they're nowhere to be found. Can't see them. That's quite sad. It's quite sad indeed. Yeah, well. You have no idea what you brought upon yourself by talking about Laura Loomer. You have no idea what you brought upon yourself, okay? You have no idea. Like, where did it... If Laura Loomer doesn't even have any real fans, where does the power of Laura Loomer come from? People really need to look into this Loomer question. I heard Laura Loomer's not even Jewish. Jackson told me Laura Loomer lied about being Jewish to scam a bunch of Miami Jews. So at this point, where does the power of Loomer come from? If they don't even have bots, I mean, if they don't even have real fans, who is appointing them to be this powerful? Who is like? Where are they getting it from? Who is vouching for them? And I hate to be so low, but you could say, well, maybe it's a Monica Lewinsky situation, but then I would think, well, like maybe Laura's like a victim of some Weinstein thing, but then I was thinking, I was like, well, but the problem is, who is going for that? Just kind of, to be polite. Pharaoh, go ahead.
So I wouldn't say I'm her fan, but I agree with a lot of things that she says.
With Laura Loomer, you agree with Laura Loomer?
Yeah, like her flagging the issue of Islam.
Her what?
Flagging the issue of Islam.
Besides, you sound like an ex-Muslim. Is that correct?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you are, right? Because your name is Pharaoh and you're LARPing as an ancient pharaoh because you're Egyptian and you have an identity crisis and you want some kind of way of coping with your existence. And
are you going to discuss ideas or personalities?
I have.
Let's not go there.
You're not a disembodied. If you prove to me you're not an AI, you have to show me. Are you an ex-Muslim? Tell me.
I don't like to discuss about anything about my personality. Just ideas. I agree with her ideas, and you want to discuss her ideas. So.
Well, you kind of sound Latino, honestly.
So, are you gonna discuss her ideas, or you want to talk about me?
We have to. I need background context because I'm putting myself out here, and you have context for who I am. So I want some context about who you are. It's only
No, you don't need to. You just need to discuss her ideas. I think her ideas are better than yours. So
100% Hispanic. Go ahead.
Okay, whatever.
That's all I need. You need to just say that sentence, and I immediately clocked it. Got it. Okay. Go ahead.
So Muslims in the U.S. are 1.5%.
Correct.
People say that's not an issue, but you see them in the UK, 5%, and they're already taking over. They already have a whole parallel society, Sharia courts. They took over.
But you know how to say Sharia, so I'm going back to the ex-Muslim theory. Sorry, I clocked you off
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
Latino. My bad.
Okay. Whatever. Yeah,
You're an
doesn't
ex-Muslim
matter.
for sure. All right.
Whatever. Yeah. I'm not gonna go into this. Just
Okay.
discuss ideas, right?
Right.
So you see them in the UK, 5-6%, and they already have Sharia courts. They already have. They took over like whole cities, like Birmingham, the second largest city in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
The grooming gangs cover up. By the way, what do you think about this grooming? I never see you talk about the grooming gang things.
Really?
Like,
Because
what
I've
do you
talked
think?
about it about 5 times probably, just in the
I I,
past year.
I don't recall. So why do you
Okay.
think
Are
that
you a
the
fan of
police
mine?
come?
Do you keep up with my streams regularly?
I think you're funny, and I don't necessarily agree with everything that everyone says, but I just take a little from
Okay.
everyone. So I listen to you. I listen to you from the far right, far left, everyone. Just
Okay.
entertainment.
Okay. Well,
So
okay. So
why do you think
why
the
are you
police?
asking me about grooming gangs? Anyone who's guilty of those crimes should be executed immediately. Next question.
Because it was systematic. The numbers were insane.
Okay.
It was religiously
Sounds a lot like
motivated.
was Epstein
Well, the numbers in the grooming gangs were far higher than Epstein,
based on what?
based on the grooming gang inquiry done by
Let me
Robert
ask you a
Lute.
question. Are you aware that a significant source of the detected signals that were coming out of child trafficking rings in Southeast Asia were tracked back to the Pentagon? Do you know about that? Do you know how
No.
involved the Western powers are in international child sex trafficking and how Jeffrey Epstein is just the tip of the iceberg? Have you done any research on this at all?
So I've done
No,
some research on
yeah,
the Epstein, but I
yeah.
don't think the numbers were as high
No,
as the
the
UK.
entire international child sex trafficking phenomena, right? It's organized. It's not just like a sporadic thing. It is organized. It is global in scale.
Of course,
And it's deeply connected to Western intelligence agencies. You can do that
of
research
course,
yourself and
of
look it
course.
up. Okay.
Not just Western. Basically, all intelligence, all countries.
Well, it's been discovered that the signals were coming from the Pentagon when it comes to a lot of these computer IP addresses and so on and so on that were pinging back and forth from Thailand and so on and so on. So you tell me what that means.
Well, I know that intelligence use sex and money
Do
to
you know anything
compromise.
about the Mossad in Israel trafficking Slavic girls from Ukraine and Russia and other Slavic countries? Do you know anything about that?
I heard about it, and I don't doubt. I think this is true. All intelligence agencies
Okay. Well, no,
use
not
this.
all. We were talking about.
The
Okay,
majority.
okay. Show me where the KGB was doing that. Is there any evidence that they were doing that, or China's intelligence agency? Where's the evidence they're involved with that at all?
Um. Well, I need to do more research about. Like, I never done research
Okay.
about intelligence agencies,
Okay.
child sex trafficking, but I did with the grooming gang. And why do you think the UK police covered up for them?
I don't know the details of the story per se, but if they did do that, if they did cover it up, I would guess because they thought that it would cause immense social unrest and instability.
So this is what you get at 5% Muslim population. That's why I think 2% in the US is insanely huge.
Okay. So you find this logical that because you have gangs of criminals in the United Kingdom doing these crimes, and that the UK's Muslim population is at 5%, that means it is inevitably true that wherever there are similar percentages of Muslims, whether it's 5% or anything else, that it's going to be just as bad or worse. That you find that to be like
Absolutely,
you find that to be
absolutely,
logical.
absolutely.
What's the
The Muslims
do you know
Muslims are
what the
different.
Muslim population of Singapore?
It's like 30%, one third, I think.
15%.
Okay.
15% of the residents of Singapore are Muslim. Where are the grooming gangs? Shouldn't there be 3 times as many grooming gangs in Singapore if your logic is correct?
Well, it's different because Muslims are native to Singapore, so
Okay, so
but they are
why are we
not native to the
changing
UK, so
why
they
are
are
we
foreign.
changing why are we changing the logic here? So it's just about
So
whether they're native
I
or
think
foreign.
Muslims, when Muslims are native to a land, they cause far less destruction to it than when they are non-native, invasive
Okay.
speech.
Do
So
you think that
I
okay, hold on. Have you done is there any actual research you can cite that shows, for example, that the crimes committed by Muslims in Western countries,
you know how
like for
this
example,
topic
in
won't
the
be
United
allowed to
States,
done research on because all the academia is controlled by liberals, and
okay,
liberals
then
not love to cook for Muslims. You know this, right?
you can put the pieces together yourself. Muslims are 2% of the U.S. population right now, so we can probably mathematically model the proportionate rates of crime and violence and so on and so on. So, for example, let's take Dearborn, Michigan. Why don't we mathematically model by per capita the proportion of crimes committed by the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, versus groups that are already in the United States or other immigrant groups and so on and so on? Would you be willing to go through some kind of process like that? And if the conclusions show that Muslims commit less crimes on average, then what conclusion would you draw? Is it only
Well,
that after they reach the 3% threshold, do they start
so
doing
if
these
you
insanely
if you want
depraved
to like
things?
actual statistics, I know for sure that
Yeah.
in Sweden, in France, Afghans and Somalis
Well,
are
hold
like on
on.
the top of the list of sexual
We don't need
assaults.
to talk about Europe right now. Let's talk about America.
Why we don't want to talk about Europe though?
Because in America, there's already quite a bit
No,
Muslims in
because
America.
Europe is the future of America. Europe is
So
already two
at
steps
what
ahead of us in
threshold do
terms
the
of Muslim
Muslims?
immigration.
At what threshold do the Muslims start going crazy and like
5%, and
Okay,
they start raping everyone.
So after they cross the 5% threshold, that's when they just suddenly turn into monsters and animals. That's what you're
Exactly. Start raping everyone.
saying? Why
Yes,
is that?
and start.
Why is it that 5% magic number the thing that like turns them into these wild animals and beasts? Can you explain?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily 5% because in
How
the
much is
cities,
it?
or let me explain. So the cities that they did the grooming gang at, Muslims were more than 5% in those cities.
Okay.
So Birmingham, Luton,
Let's just go hone in on Dearborn then. Let's go to Dearborn then.
why are you dodging Europe? Because Europe is the future of America. Europe is two steps ahead of us.
But if that's true, there should already be indications that that is the case, because they're
It's in
already.
every single European
Why
country.
are
Check
you?
Sweden,
Listen,
check France.
I know you hate Islam so much because your parents hurt your feelings or something. But you need to not interrupt me, okay?
Sure.
In America, if it's true that we're going to see the same levels of lumpenization, which is what Marxists would call it, among the Muslim populations that you see in Europe, we would already be able to go to Muslim majority or Muslim significant areas in America and identify the same things that you're talking about, right? You're saying that it has to pass a 5% threshold of the total population. Then you said, well, no, in the areas where there were grooming gangs, the Muslims were significantly more than 5%. Well, in cities like Dearborn, the population of Muslims is also significantly above 5%. Why do you not see the same thing going on there?
So can I speak?
Yeah, I asked you a question. Go ahead.
So first of all, Americans are militarized. They have weapons. Europeans don't.
Okay.
This is the number one reason.
Okay, understood.
Muslims in the U.S. are still more. They assimilate more.
Because they're afraid of guns, right?
Yes, and American right wing is still genuine. Like there's no real right wing in Europe.
Okay, do you think Muslims are irrational fanatics by and large?
I think among every single demographic, there are a percentage of fanatics. In Muslims, it's significantly higher than other demographics.
So you think Muslims tend to be, when they're very religiously motivated and when they want to commit crimes against the host population, there's an element of religious fanaticism and blind, irrational faith there, right?
That exists in every single demographic, but in Muslims it's higher, especially in the terms of like sexual violence, sexual crimes, rape, sexual assault. Countries like Afghanistan, Egypt,
we get it.
Iraq.
Muslims are just like all rapists. We get it. We understand what you're saying. But here's the problem then. If guns are supposedly a deterrence to Muslims committing these crimes in the United States, wouldn't it also make sense that Muslims would also have access to the same guns themselves and be able to commit violence more than they would in Europe? Why do we see cases of Muslims using the guns to Why are you assuming? I mean, if Muslims are simultaneously irrational fanatics, why would guns stop them? Wouldn't they use guns and take up arms against the infidels as you claim Muslims are? Wouldn't that make more sense?
No, it doesn't make sense because if you think someone, let's say I'm a guy who is trying to molest a child, right? My goal is to molest a child and don't get caught. So it wouldn't make sense for me to use a weapon. I just want to molest a child and let it be buried under the carpet. So weapons wouldn't benefit me.
So Muslims are not.
But I am afraid to molest someone's child because
so
that
Muslims
father
are not,
has a weapon,
okay,
right?
but we need to choose. Are Muslims fanatical terrorists, or are they just child rapist perverts? Which one is it?
Both.
Okay, but they can't be both at the same time, because if it was both at the same time, they would be using guns and suicide vests to commit these crimes. People having guns would not be a deterrence. So you're talking about this cartoonish character version of a monster where they're pedophiles, they're terrorists, they're all these kind of things all at once, but that is not possible to maintain all at once. Because you're trying to account for why we don't see this actually happening in America, because we don't, right? And what your explanation for is, well, it's because Americans have guns. Well, when there's more weapons that proliferate in society, it would make more logical sense that these fanatical, bestial, monstrous Muslims would have more access to weapons that can do destructive, deadly harm, and they would be using them to effect their bestial, monstrous, inhuman will on the invaded, quote-unquote, population. But we also don't see that either. How do you account for that? Well, you're saying, well, because they're too much of cowards. Okay, are they just perverted cowards who are scared to die? Or are they suicidal terrorists who, are willing to take up jihad and kill people to go to paradise? Which one is it?
So they can be both. An example of that is ISIS. You saw how they had like sex slaves and had multiple wives, and still were the best.
And we're doing suicide bombings.
Yes, and also one more thing. So the idea of militarized takeover cannot happen now because they don't have the numbers. Even in Europe, they still didn't reach the threshold at Europe. Once they become 20% in a country of Europe, let me just deliver my point.
Why do we not see? Okay, who are the biggest victims of ISIS attacks?
Please let me just finish my point.
Which populations are the biggest victims of ISIS attacks in the world?
Okay, let me just finish my point.
No. I want you to answer the question.
I need to address this point.
Which population of people in the world were the biggest victims of ISIS terrorism?
Majority are Muslims.
Correct. So why is that? What's going on there?
Okay, so because ISIS cells were concentrated inside the Middle East, were around them, and by the way, the majority of them were even Shia Muslims, like in the fought in Syria and in Iraq, they were Shia, and there were other Sunnis, but
the victims of ISIS were Shia, right?
And other Sunnis who were takfired by them because ISIS do takfir other Sunnis. So you can be a Sunni, but I see you as a kafir, which means your blood is now halal for me to kill you. Right?
Okay.
But I want to make one point. So even in Europe, Muslims still don't have the numbers for them to militarily do a takeover. Once they reach 20% in UK, they will start having militarized separation movements. They will start to like take over Birmingham and say this is now a Muslim. They will even fight to make like a federal government in Europe.
Can I ask you a question?
Where certain Muslim cities will demand to have like Sharia ruling over certain.
Scary. That sounds really scary. Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Sure.
ISIS, it seems like ISIS for you, that's pretty much like the archetypal Muslim then, right? ISIS is the archetypal Muslim. So when we see Muslims concentrated somewhere, we should expect that that's going to correspondingly result in ISIS threatening the host infidel population, right? So you'd think ISIS really have a problem with these non-Muslim infidels so much, and yet you just admitted the majority of ISIS's victims were Muslim, and we have an elephant in the room, so to speak. Isn't one of the only most prominent non-Muslim nations or quote-unquote countries in the Middle East Israel, which ISIS never attacked even one time? Why is that?
Well,
if they are religious fanatics who hate the infidel non-Muslims so much, why is it that they never attacked Israel even once? Do you have
Well,
any
first of
answer
all,
for that?
so when we say the majority of ISIS victims are Muslims, that's what me and you call them. But ISIS themselves, they don't call
Why
them
would I
Muslim. They call
care
them
what ISIS
kuffar.
is? Why would
Because
I care?
because
Why
because
is
what they
ISIS the archetypal Muslim and the 99% majority of Muslims who have nothing to do with ISIS?
that's not true. 1/3 of Muslims are ideologically just think like ISIS. They
Where are
just don't
you
have the
getting that
courage to
from?
hold the
Where are
weapon.
you getting
They
that
just
from? Where are you getting that
uh
information from?
from my personal
Okay,
experience
you have
plus
anecdotal experience that tells you 1/3 of every Muslim on earth is an ISIS ideologue.
I
Really?
yes, but they don't have the courage to hold the weapon
Okay,
yet.
that's profound insight based on your
I
nothing.
think 1/3 of Muslims are
Yeah,
Islamists,
you feel that way. You feel that 1/3 are ISIS. That's
and there
incredible.
are
Why is ISIS more representative? What gives them that right? Tell me. If the majority of their victims are Muslim, they didn't even attack Israel one time. What makes them more representative of Islam than others? Can you explain?
well, why ISIS is more representative, or why we're even talking about ISIS, because they actually had they succeeded. They had control over 1/3 of Iraq and
Okay.
Syria, right? So they had the military success, right? That's
Okay, they
why we
managed
talk
they
about them.
managed to take over vast swaths of territory and land. What enabled them to
True.
do that? Do you know what enabled them
and
to do
and
that?
they convinced people to travel to them
Hold
from
on.
all over the world,
What
from Europe.
let's get the story straight. What enabled them to do that?
Their ideological,
Really?
they
And
convinced people.
why did it
People were
happen
convinced, believed
coincidentally
in
at
them.
this? So it just
Do you
coincidentally
listen to
happened.
ISIS nasheeds? They are fire. Like they really convinced people to travel to them from all over the world. So they had the ideological edge.
And you're ignoring me because your heart is fearful of Islam. Your heart is
Their
just
heart is
you're an ex-Muslim who's trembling in fear of the truth. And the truth is Islam, and even in your own heart, it's Islam. And that's why you keep interrupting me, because you just can't hear the truth. It's really sad. You keep going on these tangents about how you feel and how, oh, ISIS, ISIS, ISIS. ISIS only was able to have the success it did because the CIA and the US empire decided to destabilize Syria and pump untold amounts of money and munitions and technology and so on to destabilize the region. They destabilized Iraq during the 2004 invasion, causing sectarianism as well and aggravating that sectarianism. Then they went for Syria and did the same thing. So coincidentally, two countries which were destabilized by U.S. imperialism led to the creation of these killer clown nihilist gangs that were able to take over and fill the vacuum and gain the success in terms of getting these territories and cities, which they would terrorize the local population under. But the bigger question to ask is this. Isn't, to anyone with common sense, isn't it true that ISIS is just a Hollywood Jewish stereotype of Islam? A cartoon version of Islam created from the sick, perverted mind of a Hollywood Jewish Harvey Weinstein type? It is so Israeli. ISIS is the most fake Israeli thing in the entire world. They didn't even attack Israel one time. There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that ISIS was the creation of the Mossad. And if they didn't outright create ISIS, they sure as hell propped them up and facilitated them to rise in the way that they did and aid them as much as they could. Why would Israel not have supported ISIS? That is the single thing that destabilizes the axis of resistance, forces Hezbollah to concentrate all of its energy and focus on Syria, disrupts the supply lines that are coming from Iran to the south, to Palestine, completely divides and takes advantage of the turmoil of the Syrian civil war and the divisions it caused between some segments of the Palestinian resistance and Iran. Only a retard can't understand the fact that Israel created ISIS and that Israel is ISIS. If you watch Ben Shapiro's latest movie, these are sick, pervert, Weinsteinian Hollywood Jews who are making up this caricature of Muslims, and that's what ISIS was. You're telling me ISIS were these pious, devout Muslim believers? No, they were fucking nihilists who are using the pretense of religion to realize a very sick, twisted, nihilistic, indistinguishable from any sick fuck, on the internet, neo-Nazi, I don't even know what these people are fucking called. All these cults and gangs you find, even in the West, it's the same thing. Same thing as the Azov Battalion in Ukraine. Azov Battalion in Ukraine was doing the same heinous, fucked up, twisted shit, and they were pagans. They even have a fucking clear religion, right? So don't give me this bullshit, your fucking disgusting Weinsteinian narrative that ISIS has something to do with Islam, because not even a retard believes that.
So I believe that Israel used ISIS, but I don't believe they created them. So ISIS is genuine.
Without Israel's help, there wouldn't have been ISIS.
Yes, but they use them later on, which Israel always do in the Middle East. They use everyone. They use Saddam against Iran. They use Iran against Saddam. They use Saddam against Khalijis, and they use Khalijis against. This is what they do, right? They master control everyone. So they did use ISIS, but they did not create it. ISIS is a genuine idea that comes from the heart of Quran and their beliefs, really, and that's how you convince thousands of people to come to you from all over the world. You can't convince thousands.
ISIS is a modern, completely hyper-modern, nihilistic perversion that took advantage of people's lumpenization and appealed to nihilistic, lumpenized young, edgy people who would be the same types that would be in neo-Nazi Discord servers with anime girl profile pictures, gooning to highness.
But are they fake? Are they made by Israel, or are just Israel used them later on?
ISIS people devious, or would you consider them like traditional, normal type of people? Were they deviants or normal types?
I think they are just Salafis. They do literal application of Islam.
As twisted as Salafis are, they're even more than that. ISIS were deviants. These were killer clown gang deviants. They were deviants.
I think they just applied Islam like the way the first 3 centuries how Islam was. This is like an accurate representation.
And Shlomo Scheinstein's book about the history of Islam, and I don't want to.
Well, if you read about the first 3 centuries of Islam, they did kill and take 6 slaves, and the same things that ISIS did, right? The Prophet and all his companions had 6 slaves, right?
You're such a disgusting little pervert.
No,
what you are.
You're
just a sick, depraved pervert.
No, I agree on the stuff that you fear on, like ISIS, like Israel used ISIS. I agree with that.
Were the Romans taking sex slaves?
Yes.
Okay, which empire during that time was?
But there are no religion now that worship Romans, so this is why it's different. But people were still worship the Prophet and his companions.
Okay, the Azov Battalion in Ukraine glorifies some kind of ancient Slavic pre-Christian, existence, and they do this as a pretext to sacrifice people and rape them and do all sorts of twisted highness shit. What do you think of that?
Well, I think it's wrong. Just like I think.
What about nihilistic neo-Nazis who talk about child rape and do all sorts of heinous, depraved shit? Also, are circulating child pornography, animal torture porn, all that kind of stuff. What do you think of that?
They are also bad.
Do you think there's such a thing as satanic nihilism on the internet? Or you don't have to call it satanic, but do you think there's this really dark part of the nihilism that's afflicting a lot of dispossessed and lumpenized young people that are going through psychosis? Are there multiple different examples of that? Is that prominent in the West?
Yeah, it's just
so let me ask you a question.
A reflection of mental illnesses.
If there was a if there was a breakdown of law and order in America, is it plausible to expect that we would see that manifest itself in a direct way? That there would be gangs and groups of depraved killer clown types who would affect these fantasies onto the world? Do you find that implausible?
To an extent, yeah.
You find it implausible that would happen? Yeah. Okay, just wait. That's all I would tell you then. Just wait. If you think that would happen in the Middle East with ISIS, only happen because or primarily even happen because of the religious context. Wait until shit pops off in America, or better yet, why don't you look at some African countries like Liberia or Sierra Leone and see the extent of depravity that occurred there. And do the research, and you tell me how much of that was religiously inspired. Or how much of it is rooted in nihilism and the complete loss of any kind of hope, the complete loss of any kind of humanity.
So I think nihilism is as bad as sexual fanaticism, like in Islam. But the thing is that Islam is centered, so I can't just attack Islam and say I think Islam is bad because of this. And if we fight those certain ideas of Islam, we can overcome Islamic um, complications. But for nihilism, it's just part of human nature. Some humans will always be nihilists,
Okay,
so there's nothing to do about it.
You're just gibbering.
Right?
You're just gibbering. So nihilism is just part
But
of human nature.
let's circle back
and
to
it is
to
no
why.
way unique to the recent endemic of inhumanism that has taken hold of the world in the age of mass media, information age, technology, and what we call, the Nietzschean last man at the end of history, right? As Fukuyama or Kojève might put it. And you're claiming that this is just eternal human nature. No, you're very wrong. You have no understanding of the human condition in the 21st century, actually. What you're saying is that basically Muslims are a threat to America. Well, we can all... And you're saying they only when they reach the 5% threshold are we going to actually see that happen. Why? I'm just continuing to ask that. Why?
So it was a joke. It's not necessarily 5%,
So
but at a certain percentage when they
which
have.
one? Which
So are you speaking per the entire nation or per city? Because sometimes what I expect to happen in Europe next is so Muslims are already majority in Birmingham, right?
Let me ask you a question. Why was there mass immigration of Muslims to Europe?
Well, first of all, the European politicians,
Why?
So as I'm telling you right now, the left want to import voters.
Mm-hmm.
They want voters. The billionaire class, they want workers. They don't want to raise wages.
Which one do you think was decisive?
Both. It's a coalition of left-wing politicians, billionaires, and Jews. By the way,
we could easily.
I think Jews play a critical role.
We could easily get to the bottom of that, if you want. So, if being left-wing is about encouraging mass immigration, why is it that in the Warsaw Pact there was no mass immigration?
What do you mean by that?
Well, half of Europe was part of the Warsaw Pact before '89, and there was zero mass immigration at all.
Nobody wanted to go to these countries.
But even if whether they did or not didn't matter because the borders were closed. And yeah, you're wrong, actually, because the conditions in those countries were significantly better than Somalia or other countries in the Middle East. So why was there no mass immigration? These were left-wing dictatorships ruled with the iron fist of the left. There was no mass immigration. Tell me why that was.
So, first of all, I don't think communism is part of the left. It's like unique part of the left.
So now we're just
the left that I'm talking about is the liberal left.
Okay.
That is taking like Matt.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Was there more immigration under the post-war Labor government in what's his name, Attlee, in the United Kingdom, or after Thatcher's neoliberal reforms? Thatcher came from the right. She was a conservative. Which one accelerated the rise of mass immigration?
Well, if you go, I just told you that there's no right wing in Europe. There's no right wing in Europe. There's no genuine conservative.
We're just coping now.
No, it's not. There is no conservative presence in Europe. It's all liberals and very liberals and moderate liberals.
We're just coping. Are immigrant groups who are imported to be cheap labor more disposed to be criminals in many ways than the native populations, regardless of the status as immigrants? Because I'm going to tell you why you don't see in Dearborn what you see in Europe. Because the Muslims in Dearborn are not people who were imported for cheap labor. They're just people who came to, become professionals or get educated or become business owners or something and pursue careers. But in Europe, the Muslims that were imported were the ones a combination of people that were the Syrian refugees who were brought in the aftermath of the NATO-funded war against Bashar, and also people who are imported to depreciate the wages of the native working populations. Those type of people are going to be poorer, more desperate, and less attached to wherever they are because they are lumpenized. They're lumpenized, I mean, which means basically they don't have any stable jobs, they don't have stable careers, they don't have a stable pursuit in their life at all.
Then explain why in Sweden the first generation are commit more crimes than their immigrant parents.
What do you mean? It makes total sense.
So you said the problem is
because the first generation are precisely the people who are being lumpenized. They have no stable existence or stable belonging in anything at all. They have no, they're completely lumpenized. It's like
but even more than their parents.
What?
Even more than their parents?
Yes. Yeah, their parents probably were imported to work at some factory somewhere or something. And then once that was over, it's like, it's not generational. The deindustrialization and the increased financialization of these economies accelerate lumpenization in all directions. That's why there's a lot of crime in Chicago, for example. That's why there's all sorts of different groups, immigrant groups, other kinds of groups, which per capita commit more crimes. It's just about the extent to which lumpenization has accelerated or not. And you're really, really underestimating the amount of native populations who are simultaneously lumpenized that also commit similar crimes. You know, there's nothing about Islam that makes people more heinously depraved to an extent that is inconceivable and unimaginable for anyone who's from some other group. Like, even with the case of the grooming gangs, similar crimes are committed by people from the backgrounds of the native population themselves. There's nothing about Islam that has this magical, mystical factor that makes people do things that would otherwise be inconceivable without Islam. It's just totally nonsense.
But the numbers in the grooming gangs were industrial scale, right? The stats were insane. And by the way, in Europe, Afghans and Somalis commit more.
Can I get somebody to double check what he's saying about these grooming gangs? Because I think I heard from somewhere that it was being lied about in terms of how much it was. Someone told me that before. I just want to double check it.
I have just two questions to you. So you have been asking me a lot of questions. Now I have two questions to you, if may I.
Okay.
First question is, what is your explanation to the Muslim migration movement to Europe? Why you think, who orchestrated this and why? And the second question is, what is your stance on gay marriage and the entire LGBT thing?
Well, to answer the first thing, it was obviously something that was engineered in order to destroy the organized working class of Europe. Because when the neoliberal reformers wanted to embark upon their, acceleration of financialization, deindustrialization, austerity, and the destruction of the power of labor, they imported immigrants to compete with the native workers and create pressure on the unions and so on to basically have less leverage. So it was class struggle through and through, is the explanation. And the reason they imported Muslims, quote unquote, is because those were the people on the other side of the pond being the Mediterranean Sea. So they were, and primarily these are people coming from former colonies, especially in the case of the UK and France.
But why they didn't use a system that is similar in the GCC countries? Like, give them temporary to stay, work for less, and then send them back home. Why they give them a citizenship and change the demographic?
I'll tell you why. Because European countries are actually real nations. France is a real nation. Germany, love them or hate them, it's a real nation. They have a long, strong history. They have a civil society. They have like an actual history of the masses, the people acquiring some kind of existence. They've produced great philosophers and thinkers and profound political mass movements. But the GCC countries are a bunch of fat fuck retards who have contributed nothing to humanity, who were sticking sand up their ass for centuries doing nothing. They were literally nothing, completely marginalized and completely irrelevant on the entire world stage. They weren't even nations, they were just a collection of camps. And then the British came and threw money at them, and these fat, disgusting pigs became these welfare recipients of the British Empire. And they found their oil, and they got rich off of the oil rents. And then they created a complex system where the people doing all the actual labor would be slaves that were imported from abroad. And they would just run around picking their ass. And now they're becoming YouTubers like that disgusting bitch from the Emirates. What the fuck is her name? Rawadra or whatever, right? So in contrast to the GCC, France, Germany, Spain, and the UK, these are very complex, historically constituted nations with a very rich history, a very rich, complicated societies. These are not a bunch of like fat, artificially propped up, parasites who are just sitting around like, collect that they actually have. I can't believe I'm saying this, but they have a measure of civilization that exists in Europe. There's a measure of civilization that exists there. That's not true in the GCC countries at all.
Okay, so do you think Europeans fear of
the
demographic?
European people would not agree to such an idea. As critical as I am of Europe, I'm one of the most critical people of Europe in the world. I cannot comprehend the idea of the French people coming together on a consensus that they're going to import slaves and just live off, and they're going to like... Unfortunately, these are real nations, so when you're dealing with nations that are more than just 10 million fat Kuwaitis, but people where there's actually a class struggle being waged and there's a history still ongoing, it's a class war still happening in these countries. So let's say Macron, I'm sure he would love to, would want to propose this idea of importing slaves. It would be resisted by the noble working classes of those nations. And I can't say the same of the GCC, which has no noble working class at all and has no history of one.
Okay, makes sense. So, what is your stance on the gay marriage, gay adoption, LGBT rights movement? Like, what's your general view?
Why do I have to have one?
Because you're the chairman of the ACP.
So what? I mean, it's up to the American people, honestly. It's for them to sort out amongst themselves.
So you don't mind gay marriage? Would you attend the gay wedding?
I don't see a situation in which I would. I don't really attend much weddings in general.
Okay. So you are you in favor of gay marriage or no?
What does it have to do with me is the question.
Because you're the chairman of the ACB. You have thousands of followers.
Yeah, but this kind of decisions can't be made unilaterally by an ideologist or someone who's a politician. It ultimately has to be made by the people of a given country, and whether it makes sense to them that such a thing exists.
Why you didn't take this stance from every other subject or question? Why on this particular issue you just don't want to comment?
Matters pertaining to, I would say also, for example, if you were to ask me about fashion choices and certain specific cultural practices and norms that surround, other cultural things, it's like, well, look, you can't actually legislate that politically. It's ultimately something that belongs to the people to decide.
So why specific? But you can't these are not the same. Fashion and gay marriage. Gay marriage is like a real thing, a real discussion, a real issue.
Cultural norms are created by civil society, not politicians. Anything else? We have
So
a
you,
Laura Loomer fan club. I want
it
to know if
sounds, it sounds like you're running away from the question, though. By the way, like you were honest and had courage to answer all the questions that I just asked. But for this particular one, you don't look good.
Okay.
Sounds like
okay. What should be should Burger King or McDonald's be allowed legally?
this is not the same, right? It's not the same. You're just making false equivalency.
No, no, really. Should fat people be allowed to get married? Should it be normal? What do you think?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they are humans and have as much rights as other
Okay.
non-fat people. So, yeah.
Should people choose Charmin toilet paper or off-brand toilet paper? Which one? Choose.
This is a hard one. I would leave this to the people of the United States to decide.
No, no, you're running away from the question. You're running away from it.
No, why should I have? Why should I have a say about?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Well,
Why are you running?
So the chairman of the ACB doesn't have a say about gay marriage and the gay question.
I don't really give a fuck either way. I mean, I really don't give a fuck. That's the truth. Like, I don't care. That's my honest answer. Is like, I don't give a fuck.
So you don't mind your son being gay? Like, if your son comes out to you that he's gay, what are you gonna say?
What does that have to do with the question of the laws in your country? It's so weird. You're such a weirdo.
No, because you know how the gay question is such a big discussion.
It's
not
really
just
not.
in the West.
You're making it a big discussion. It's not a big discussion for me at all.
How?
It's because no one was discussing it until you brought it up. Not a big discussion at all for me, actually.
Not for you, but like, what do you think about the status?
Someone's name is Loomer fan. I want to know if there's actually one Laura Loomer fan who's not a bot. I just want to hear these people to see if they're real. What are you saying again? You're talking about people's genitals or something? What do you want?
Yes. So what do you think about gay rights in the Middle East?
It's their business.
The status of like gay men in Saudi.
In the Middle East, it's for the people to decide what the norms are.
So you're fine if gay people are executed, and you're fine if they have the full right, as in the West. You're fine either way.
Who is? What do you mean? Am I fine or am I not fine? It's not. It's
because you're the chairman of the ACB. You should have a say about this.
The chairman of the ACP should decide how the people of Iran feel about how they attend to their own business. Why? Why? It's ultimately the Iranian people who have to decide what is moral, what is immoral, what is right, what is wrong.
But you have influence over people. Like, if you say something as a chairman of the ACP...
I've never even stepped foot in Iran my whole life. How could I influence them over how...
No, I mean for communists in America. You have influence over them, right? If you say something about this issue, you would influence thousands of people, right?
Why should I influence people on this?
So let's say we have a revolution and communists take over America, and yes, tomorrow you're
I wish I could communicate
the president of America.
I wish I could.
What are you gonna do about the gay question?
I wish I could communicate to you how much I don't care about this topic at all. I literally would delegate it to a minister that I appoint to just deal with it themselves, because I literally don't give a fuck. Like, that would be delegated for 5 levels below me. That would never even get to my desk. There would be like 10 levels of bureaucracy below me that would deal with those kinds of things. And it would never even come to my desk. And I would never even know about it. Because I don't give a fuck.
So you think that if a country kills gay people, and all the way to a country that legalized gay marriage and gay adoption, either way is fine by you? You don't care? It's the same for you? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, how did we go from... I'm against killing anyone, but how did we go from marriage, civil marriage laws, and all this kind of shit? It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
How come you don't have a say about this?
You're a
leader of a party.
If people can't get married, that means they should be killed? What are you even talking about?
No, I mean, some countries kill gay people, and some countries give them full rights. You said you don't care about it.
If only you cared about Palestinian children as much as you did the non-existent victims of being executed for being gay that don't exist in America. If only you cared
I'm not
about,
talking about America. I'm talking about like
if only you cared about
Afghanistan.
Palestinian children as much as you cared about the non-existent victims of Sharia law in America.
Who told you I don't care about Palestinians?
No, it's just such a trifling nonsense.
No, you
thing
said
that
you
you're
don't care
talking about.
either way. So I'm telling you, you don't
I
care
don't
if they
care
kick.
about the marriage laws about it. I don't care about it.
I don't believe you, to be honest. I just don't believe
Why?
this
But
is
why would I care? Why should I care?
because you should have a say in this.
I should
You're a
have a
leader of
say
a
in
party.
this. I should have a say in this.
Yes, you're a chairman of the Communist Party in the biggest country in the world. So you should
And
have
I
a
should
say.
have a say on who should get married or not.
Yes, because some people think the whole gay thing is degeneracy and it should be shut down. Some people believe they should have full rights. They can be the president. They can adopt. So you should have a say, right?
I should have a say because why?
Because you're an influencer. You're a leader of a party. You have thousands of followers.
Whatever. Okay, I'll choose the thing that makes me not have to deal with it ever again. Like whatever allows me to free up all my mental energy to literally think about anything else. I'll immediately make that decision. Like I'll click a button. Whatever makes me not have to think about it ever again is what I'll agree to.
Is this your approach to any other issue? Why specifically this issue you choose
I
not
find
to?
it trifling, small, and meaningless because I don't give a fuck. If you
How
ask me
come it's meaningless?
what is your decision on pineapple on pizza? I don't give a fuck, man. I don't fucking care. Literally, just give me a button. This should never come to my desk. This should never come to my desk. Have someone else fucking deal with this. Why am I dealing with it? Why should this come to my desk? As if there's nothing more important in the world. There's something about ordinal rankings of things that are of urgent concern that actually matter. And that's not one of them. Doesn't matter. Don't care about it at all.
So you're undecided, or you just
No, I
don't
don't
think
care.
about it?
I'm indifferent. That's the answer. Anything
So
else?
what if it crosses your way? What if your son comes out as gay? What are you gonna do?
That is such a ridiculous question. I'm not even going to entertain it. You're gone. All right, Mercury, go ahead. We want one Laura Loomer fan who's actually real. Go ahead.
I'm not a Laura Loomer fan. Is this like confront the chairman? This is
Sure.
confront the chairman, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So let's just get to the meat and potatoes, right? There's a debate with you and Keith Woods in which you summarize Marxism as an index between like the dialectic between form and content, which I think everyone should watch. It's a good, that's a good statement of what it is to me. And so my critique of you is this: that I find that your ideology is a very fixed form. In particular, you know, the Comintern and your Stalinism, and it's not dialectic in that it evolves with history. That's what I would say.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I don't know why. I got at first I thought like Stalin posting is like the antithesis of Hitler posting, and there's going to be some sort of synthesis, but it really is like preserved in amber in the 1930s is the main thing I would say. And I've been up here before, so I just cut to the point. Sorry. I kind of like what you do, but that's my genuine critique. And as an intellectual, I think you see this too, not just as a politician. Like if you want to actually get to the truth, it's not in 1930.
Let me
It's
guess.
got to be something in the future.
We're static and fixed because we won't yield to embracing fascism.
What what is fascism?
Whatever. I mean, it's just like I don't. It's a new one for sure. That our worldview is static and fixed, and it's stuck in the 30s.
Maybe we should talk about China. Like, have you seen these open source models on these AI? So the West, what they do is like 5 companies spend hundreds of billions of dollars to train the model on the same
Yeah, I'm
data.
a big fan of China.
And
sure.
China, yeah, that rolls. That's like a Vanguard.
Someone else was requesting.
Yeah, I'll bring them up.
Yo, what's up?
Hello. I have a few questions for you. So, why do you think fascism attracts so many people?
Not a bad question. Yeah, this is something I've engaged with a few times, and basically explained. Although it's not very topical anymore because I think the tide is actually shifting now. But immediately, for sure, that was the case. I think that fascism. All right, I'm gonna use the dimensions analogy, but I don't want it to be too complex, right? So, like, you ever heard of this idea that if we lived in a 2D world, then something 3D would also look 2D to us?
Yeah.
And that, like, that's the analogy for the fourth dimension. Like, because we are in the third dimension, when we try to represent the fourth dimension, it's just, like, not possible because we're stuck in the third dimension, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing when it comes to liberalism and communism or socialism. When you try to represent the revolutionary movements, communism or Stalinism, whatever you want to call it, when you try to represent Bolshevism to liberalism, when you're stuck in the liberal dimension, it looks like fascism because fascism is actually compatible with the liberal universe. Within the liberal universe, like fascism is a tolerated comic book villain. Liberals recognize fascism as the ultimate villain, but fascists also recognize themselves as that villain, right? Fascists are kind of this negation of liberalism that is still stuck within liberalism. But communism is like a different dimension. It's a completely different tradition. It's a different language. It's not entangled in this relationship with liberalism where it is responding eternally to liberalism. It created its own foundation and it took off, and it has its, as communists have their own beef, like Stalin and Mao's disagreements, the Sino-Soviet split, like, all sorts of different things going on within Marxism or within communism. But fascism never actually escaped a dialectical entanglement with liberalism, so to speak, right? So liberals recognize Hitler, but Stalin is a big mystery for them. That's really it, So, like, when people start becoming disillusioned with liberalism, they embrace the established villain. Like, if it's a Marvel movie, they're going for Thanos, but the real villain is actually DC Universe. Think about it. Like, you're the Marvel executive and you're making a movie, right? And Thanos is the villain inside of your movie. But the actual villain is DC Universe because that's who you're competing with to make the movie in the first place. Yeah, within the narrative framework, Thanos is the villain. But Thanos is also what makes the movie have a competitive edge against the true enemy, which is DC Universe, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing going on, yeah. It's like communism is not even within the narrative, it's outside of it. It's beyond the threshold of like whatever story we tell ourselves about the story of liberalism and our post-war order and our civilization and so on and so on. It's a completely distinct narrative about the entirety of world history, human history, and our place in it. It has a completely different understanding of what universal man is, what humanity is, what rights are. It's so like it's from a different world, right?
Mm-hmm. One of the other questions I've had, actually, I came up with this question a few weeks ago. I was trying to think about like revolutions in history that were successful, such as the French Revolution, Cultural Revolution, or other like things like that, and then ones that were not successful. And I thought about, well, how there are Chinese people today that would say that yes, the Cultural Revolution was necessary, but it did have excesses, and like other revolutions had excesses but were successful. And I came to think, well, has there ever been a successful revolution that in post was not accused of excesses?
Never. They've all had excesses.
So I think that a mark of a successful revolution would be that it was able to even have excesses in the first place.
Well, A revolution is a force of nature. It's not. It's not a normatively conditioned, or I should rather say, ethically conditioned act in a vacuum. It's a force of nature. Talking about revolution, we should talk about it the same way we talk about an earthquake, or we talk about a tsunami, or we talk about, something like that. It's not, or a cosmological event, like a solar, or a solar revolution, an astronomical revolution. It's a force.
The same way that earthquakes shake like the very foundations of like the very foundations of the ground a city is built upon. Revolution shakes the very foundations of an entire society is built upon.
Absolutely. So much is thrown into the air. There's nothing about revolution that is inherently, at every level of meticulous detail, wholesome or somehow narratively aligned with the overarching way we make sense of revolutions. There's so many meaningless forms of violence and excess that happen during revolutions. For sure. Everything is thrown up in the air. But why revolutions are still glorified post hoc or even during is not because people ignore these things or deny them, but because people ultimately, put it this way, when a principle is thrown up into the air, it's also a unique opportunity to engage with it. Whereas before you may have taken it for granted or neglected it, you awaken to it now. And now you can be moral in a way that you weren't before. Like the dawn of a moral order, of a moral principle, of a moral authority is very violent because it's something you always ignored before or never embraced. And when it comes, My
third question is, a perennial thing that gets thrown against you in the ACP is like the stance on LGBT rights, as like just happened a couple minutes ago. I myself, I am an LGBT person, and I have received nothing but like kindness and respect from you and from every other ACP member. And so it kind of mystifies me why, like this is a perennial attack. Yes, like gorillas have in the past,
honestly, I'm gonna go woke.
Posted dumb stuff.
I'm gonna go woke, and I'm gonna say it's racism because I'm a bearded, Muslim guy, and if I have to dance like a monkey,
absolutely plays into it. Yeah,
I have to dance like a monkey for these people and make myself look harmless and be wholesome and tell them, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. It's a racist attack. I'm not gonna be held to an unreasonable standard that other people don't seem to have to. People try to purity test me, and they're trying to test me to see if I'm. Well, you're the scary. No, keep me as a scary Muslim. It's like I'm not Abdul Al Sayed. I'm not Zoran Mamdani. I don't have to be a monkey and dance for anyone.
Yeah.
I am what I am.
The thing that all has been making me think of is, what if I really put some like effort in and I tried to create at least an essay that rejects the neoliberal framework that LGBT rights within the Western sphere were entirely built upon. And because, to be quite frank, the entire political sphere for our rights and our existence is defined entirely through these neoliberal values that are inherently, vastly antisocial in nature. Like the whole the idea that we exist as our own individual unit and not as a part of a society is very antisocial in nature. I was thinking that, perhaps if I write an essay that creates a new framework that is an entire rejection of the neoliberal framework that was previously under, maybe that would help.
I don't know. People are not reading a lot anymore. But I'm not going to discourage it. I'm just going to say it's not something I spend a lot of time thinking about because
of course not. It doesn't concern you.
Right.
It concerns me because I'm a part of that group, but
yeah, no, it makes sense.
It shouldn't concern you.
Makes sense, yeah.
My first and foremost priority is the class war. Yes, I mean, unfortunately, as much as I wish it wasn't a thing I would have to think about or have to deal with, like, yes, I can't exactly not be where I am.
No, I mean, yeah, it's.
Mhm.
I'm not. Yeah, like I said, I'm
It's
not
just
going
like,
to discourage
you have
you
to deal with the
from.
baggage of being Muslim, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's just like, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be like Zoran Mamdani and do this
Mm-hmm.
performative stuff to put people's mind at ease about,
Mm-hmm.
whether I'm a scary Muslim or not. I'm just going to say, like, I am a scary Muslim. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please do never perform for them. That's one of the reasons why I, in particular, drew me to the ACP is that the ACP does not do this, like, this song and dance for LGBT people. They just treat us like normal people.
No, absolutely. If I heard about somebody who was abusing someone or disrespecting them because of their background, then I would be surprised, and that doesn't reflect who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not like that,
And like I said earlier, I've received nothing but respect and kindness from you and also other ACP members.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and have a great time. So, and Noah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to discuss a bit on the LGBT thing a little bit.
This is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is crazy. Like, holy fuck! Can we move on? Like, what is going
Nah,
on?
don't. This is gonna be a different.
I don't know. I
perspective
literally, I'm exhausted at this point. Like, what the fuck? VO, go ahead. Like, when I'm getting bored, it's not good, okay? It's not good when I'm getting bored, okay? I'm the guy trying to make it entertaining and exciting for people, but, like, when you're boring me, you're really doing a fucking bad job, okay? Well, I brought this person on, but they're gone. Everyone demand Loomer fan club, Loomer fan club, Loomer fan club. Get up here. Show us you're not a bot. You're a bot until proven otherwise. Loomer fan club, get speaking. This is the only person we wanted to talk to in the space. Loomer fan club, get up here. Don't be a coward. I am the jihadi. I am the communist jihadi. Islam, communism, jihad, Sharia, communism, Islam. Islam, communism, Sharia, jihad, Sharia, Islam, communism. Communism, Sharia, jihad, Islam, jihad, Islamic, jihad, communism. At Dairy Queen right now. It's coming. Walmart, Sharia. Walmart, Sharia law, Islamic communism. Led by Hassan Piker and Abdul Al Sayed. Sharia law. Birmingham, UK. Sharia law, Islam, communism. Right now it's happening. Unless you come up and speak. There's only one way to stop it. Debate. If you debate me and defeat me in the debate, I will call all of them and tell them to call it off. The Islamic communism is coming. Sharia law. All you have to do is debate me. I'll call him and I'll call it off. That's all you have to do. VO, go ahead. Go ahead, VO. They keep leaving. Loomer fan club, what's the problem here? Why are you so averse to this? That's why I'm saying it's botted. The proof that Laura Loomer's botted is not a single one of their followers or fans will ever use their voice to say, yeah, I'm a Laura Loomer fan. Yeah, I follow Laura Loomer. I agree with Laura Loomer. Yeah, I'm a Loomer. I'm a Loomer head. Where are the Laura Loomer fans? Where are they? By the way, guys, when the space is over, I will be deleting it from my timeline. It's not being recorded except on infrared. Kick.com/infrared. Oh my god, I should go on TikTok right now. I'm gonna do that. Because they're on TikTok, I see a lot of Sharia law fear-mongering. I ended the space. On TikTok, there's like a ton of Sharia law fear-mongering. And I want to let's go on TikTok. The Loomer crowd got destroyed. We won the debate. What's going on with this like 2001, 2003 Islamic scare? May I come up? No, Muslims are banned from my space. Dude, I don't want to talk to you at all. Hello, brother. We are under attack. Bro, I don't fucking care. What is this? Just bring on people who will debate me. I don't want people who agree with me about anything. I'm not a lonely person. I'm not looking for friends. Believe it or not, I'm not a lonely person. I'm not looking for friends. Oh, you're an anti-communist from Azerbaijan. Okay, we will bring you up. Well, first Reznol's coming up. Yo, what up, Resno? Sharia law is coming soon, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thoughts?
I kind of halfway. I think I disagree with the current administration and stuff because I don't really think anyone would allow Sharia law because I think most of the people who are Muslim sympathetic, like Mandami, don't take money that actually affects their opinion that much in that way. So I actually disagree with that a lot. And the other people take Israeli money.
There's a whole lot of confusion on both of our parts. So let's bring on American Nazbul Party. Hey. I remember growing up when I was taught about totalitarian Islam, and there was this idea that like Islam is the ultimate totalitarianism. Remember when Obama, they would be like, Stalin killed 50 million, Mao killed 100 million, Hitler killed 2 million, and then Obama's the next one, and they're like somehow they combine like fascism, communism, Nazbuls, everything totalitarian is Islam in the way that American Zionist propaganda would do it, right? Because you had this liberal narrative about the twin totalitarianisms, and there was this kind of way they would depict Islam as like the ultimate. So even when you call me a Nazbul, it's so interesting because even that is, in a way, a reflection of some kind of Islamic hate, fear of Islam. Dearborn, Michigan, Sharia law is coming tomorrow, right now. Who's Alexio? They seem familiar. Go ahead. Fuck, time is a flat circle, isn't it?
Hey, what's going on? So what's going on?
How do you feel about Sharia law? It's coming right now.
Your real what?
Sharia law.
Fucking terrible.
Well, there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Yeah, we can.
What?
To leave into another countries?
No, even those countries will be Sharia law.
Still other countries?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
The thing is though, like Islam will never work in any country compared to other countries that have like free religion and things like that.
Everything's getting banned.
Everything else.
Everything's getting banned.
Even slavery?
Everything's getting banned.
Even you?
Everything's getting banned.
So hold on, what's your ethnicity?
Everything's getting banned.
Yeah, I know, you're mentally ill.
Everything's getting banned.
Yeah, great.
It's all getting banned. Sharia law. Everything's getting banned. Sharia law. Everything's getting banned.
Even Sharia?
Sharia law.
Even Sharia law will be banned?
That's the final step, actually.
After
Sharia bans everything, it itself is going to be banned. And then we ascend. And then we ascend.
How it can be Marxist and like going for Sharia?
First, we need Sharia. I'll explain it why. It's dialectics. You see, we need Sharia law to ban everything. And then in the final moment, when Sharia bans itself, we will have surpassed the negation of the negation. We will have built thrusters across the entire planet.
No, then you have
Just
Sharia,
like
you
in the
will bomb
movie The
yourself.
Wandering Earth, and then when we finally ban the banning of the banning, we will fly to a new sun. Just like in The Wandering Earth.
Yeah, but like what if you have some Muslims that have suicide bomb? Like what about in that case? Like when you
Good
have a
point.
bunch of
Yeah.
terrorists there.
No, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. What if Muslims were suicide bombers? Yeah, good point. I didn't think of that one.
Like, yeah, no way that you're Marxist and Muslim.
It's just like some ambiguous foreign NPC. He's like, "What are you talking about? Islam, man. You can't be a Muslim."
I mean, you can, but that's ideologically like not
It's not
consistent.
loud, man. It's like Muslims are bombing the world.
Oh yeah, they do. I mean,
It's like a Family Guy, you know that Family Guy thing where it's like a ethnically ambiguous accent, like it's just some foreign guy, nobody knows where he's from. All right, bye,
they
dude.
don't.
You made me fucking bored. Bye. Fuck are we talking about anymore? Not even doing this for money anymore. Luigi, go ahead.
Hey, Haas.
What's up?
First I want to say I'm a really huge fan of that meme went viral a while back of you saying, "I am a Mongolian. We are a horde." I say that shit about a million times a day.
Yeah, you're okay.
I'm at this dilemma where I think the American left is pretty much a fucking joke.
Me too. But you're boring the fuck out of me. 600, go ahead.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what up?
Are you Shia?
Yeah.
Damn. Why do you think most Sunnis and Christians hate Hezbollah?
They don't.
I mean, show me any poll that shows at least half of them supporting Hezbollah. There are none.
All right, I'll go show it to you.
Yeah, dodge it. There's literally zero. Zero.
All right. Bleeding Crystals, go ahead.
Yo, guess what, bro? Jolani is gonna free Palestine in 25 years. Yo, you don't have a rebuttal.
Wait, hold on. All right, let me sit up straight because all right, well, you got me laughing for sure. What else?
No, it's true. You guys, all the leftists and resist-hards were like
Jolani. Stop
you
coping,
want
man. Stop.
You want me to make my point? Yo, they were saying Jolani is an Iranian agent when he was up in Idlib, and then 5 years later,
who was
he
saying
collapsed
that?
Assad regime, like the FSA people.
It's
It's
the
very
most
niche. You wouldn't
schizo
know
shit
about it.
I've ever heard.
Yeah, the same way it's good to say he's like a Israeli agent, you know? Didn't you say that?
Look, 25 years from now, no one is gonna exist on Earth.
Why is it? Cause what's the reason, bro?
We are living in apocalyptic times. We don't have 25 years to think about anything.
Damn, bro. So like, I'm
Like
have to go
25
sleep.
years, ACP is gonna taking over America. Like, what are we talking about here?
America's never reaching class consciousness. What are you talking about? They're all fat Americans. Like, you ever seen The Boys? Like, we're living in a The Boys episode. Oh, you never seen it? Yeah, bro. I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say. Yada me.
Sharia law is coming right now for everyone and everything. And if we don't worship Israel and India, it's gonna be bad. How do you the jungle gyms thing? Yeah, that's fucking crazy that I did that shit. You know, that's interesting how my mic is so shitty on TikTok. I wonder where I can check. Yeah, I need to like I need to add like an audio gate or something. Echo cancellation, microphone device. How do I noise suppression auto? Hi. Oh, I think I fixed it. Wow. Yeah, how guys, how's this sound on the TikTok? It's like ASMR though, because you can still like You guys never told me I had this fan in the background.
Gorillas and sons, infrared vision, The golden star in the sky. Gorillas and suns, infrared vision. The golden star in the sky. Gorillas
that part is so nice.
Infrared vision. The golden star in the sky. Gorillas and suns. Infrared vision. The golden star in the sky.
Hello, fellow Best Buy accelerationist. How are you doing? I can be your little sex slave proletariat, and you can be my master bourgeoisie.
Type of shit that I deal with. It's like type of shit that I.
Gorillas and suns. Infrared vision. The golden star in the sky. Gorillas and suns. Infrared vision.
Yo, go ahead.
I can see your eyes through your sunglasses. You cannot hide your humanity from me.
Let me check the time. Yeah, 12:15. Yeah, 15 minutes past midnight. We get all the weird people. It checks out, you know. 15. It's like past midnight. You just get all these fucking. You know, it's interesting to think about. Like, is communism possible? You just got all these people out there. And everyone just ignores them and is like, yeah, whatever. But, like, there's a lot of people out there that are like this, that are just weird and creepy. They're just, like, weird, strange people. How does communism account for strange people? Actually, you know, that needs to be discussed. Is that it?
No, I'm better than you.
That's why, like, under communism, like, there's 500 trillion people that die because it's like some people just cannot make it, bro. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do with these people. I don't know what we're gonna do with these, like, weird fucking people that are just, like, strange.
Oh, Haas, you can't run from me.
Get the fuck out. They're making this new motif. It's digital blackface. It's like different. It's like a new motif. Oh my god. Alright. If nobody else requests in 5 minutes, we're ending the TikTok live. You guys are losing your fucking privileges.
The golden star in the sky. Gorillas and suns. Infrared vision. Infrared vision. Golden star in the sky. Gorillas and suns. Infrared vision. Infrared vision. Golden star in the sky. Gorillas and suns. Infrared vision. Infrared vision. Golden star in the sky. Gorillas and suns. Infrared vision.
YOLO, go ahead.
Please let me be your fucking sex slave.
That's so fucking weird. It's one person making all these fucking accounts. What's up? Go ahead.
Baby Haas.
Fuck. There's more than one. So the same people that come and troll me, they choose a different costume every time. They choose a theme and they stick with it, and there's like at least 5 to 10 of them. And it's always the same theme. Ah.
Infrared vision, golden standing is
You know, it's just the world. Females never behave this way. Females never behave this way. I mean, it would be kind of nice if they did, but that's the world we live in. Ah. Walter, go ahead. Go ahead. Get the fuck out of here. Go ahead.
Hoss, can you lick my butt?
Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Marks, go ahead. Hell no. Didn't even say shit. Soon as I saw the fucking profile picture, get the fuck out of here. Ray, go ahead.
I'm gonna fucking rate this.
Fuck is that? Y'all are joking and shit because this is like some troll group. It's like a troll clown troupe that has a different theme every stream. Y'all think, oh, we're just joking. No, like you own that shit forever. Like that's on you. You are that weird. Like that's honestly, that's the type of shit you getting up to. That's what you are. I mean, like that's what it is. All right, this is the last person. If it's a troll, we're exiting TikTok right now. All right. I don't appreciate this trolling when it's all very serious.
Thanks for inviting me,
How the
Haz.
fuck did they
Thank
get
you,
back
Nick.
on? How the fuck did they get back on? What the fuck? Owen, go ahead.
Hey.
All right, that's a wrap, y'all. That's a wrap. I thought, you know what? Like, I'm trying to get a certain type of content. I'm trying to get the content of the people talking about Sharia law in Dearborn, who are like, I want to get old people who watch Fox News and shit, who are upset and angry about Sharia law in Dearborn. Like, this is the type of shit. These are the type of encounters I want to have, right? Even if you're trying to troll me for content, at least convincingly pretend to be that for everyone to entertain all of us. But instead, it's just like zero content. But then I think about something, which is that those people are AI. They're not even real. It's an Israeli op. Nobody's scared of Sharia law. It's not even real. Gorillas and Sons. Infrared vision. The prompt should say Sharia law. Ah, fuck, it's such a boring topic. If you're actually one of these people that are like afraid of Muslims and afraid of Islam, you are dead ass an NPC. Like I don't know what to tell you. You're like straight up an NPC. You are straight up on some NPC shit. Like you are like an NPC. Like I don't even know what to tell you. You are not gonna make it. American LARP party. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck Nazbol in your. Just go back to fucking Reddit. Fuck off. Shut the fuck up. No, you shut the fuck up. I'm the one who's angry, not you. Is the wise man the one who says the same thing over and over again forever, or the man who says it one time, never again, but he forgets that he said it? The first guy is Slavoj Žižek, and the second guy is Nick Land. Right? Nick Land, like, said some shit in the 90s, then he forgot. Brilliant shit in the 90s, then he forgot about it, and he literally just... He said it one time, then never again, and then he forgot about it. And then Zizek says the same thing over and over again for 50 years. And it's like, I have been saying the same thing for years, but I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I've said enough. Let me write. But who's going to read my writings who's not an idiot? I need to be a point. I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to just keep talking. Like, I want to start a Shaolin temple. And like, I will be Master Shifu. I will be Master Shifu. I will be the ambiguous, mysterious Kung Fu master. And you come to the temple and I just tell people how to fucking get their shit straight. And I uplift people and transform them. And then I send them back to do the bidding of the Shaolin temple in the world. That's the type of shit I want to do. You know, like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of just, like, saying the same thing over and over again. You know? I need other people to start doing it too. On some Shaolin temple shit. You'll read. You know what? You guys say you'll read. But how many of you have actually understood communism in the post-MAGA age? How many of you actually understand that shit? Like how many of y'all actually get it? Like, how many of y'all actually understand the type of shit we're trying to do, you know? This Islam one is such a banger. It's so good. Oh my god, I can't wait to get it out. But some of y'all not gonna... Bro, this one's so good. I'm hyping it up, but that means it's never coming out. Bro, it is so good, though. This Islam one is so good. I have been trying to finish it, but I keep getting interrupted. It's crazy. It's so good, I'm paywalling this one. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck. I'm paywalling the Islam essay. $20 to read it. No, come on. Because the only gorillas will buy it. I am highly considering paywalling this one, though. Like, I am. I don't want to go so far. I'm not that Jewish. I'm not gonna paywall it. Fuck, you think that's what I am? You think I fucking paywall my writings? I'm not doing that. I'm not, but when I drop that shit, I expect such an immense bombshell of donos. Whenever I go live, the day that I drop that shit and I go live, I expect such a huge victorious celebration. And that's what it is. Like, because I'm not paywalling it. You are a descendant of Shem, as are the majority of white people. Honestly, I don't think I'm white at all. I think I'm like, I'm of the Afro-Asiatic way, but I just have white skin. My skin is white because I was engineered to blend in with white people, to do takia, to trick you, to open the floodgates to the victory of the Black Empire. This is a form of camouflage. I was engineered and designed this way by the Sharia takia specialists to deceive the white populations. But I messed it up because they coded me the wrong way. So I made myself Hazaldin, and I was supposed to make myself Jonathan Pendleton. Pendleton. I was supposed to blend in, but there was some glitch in the matrix or something, so it didn't work. Yeah, I look like you, but I am not of you. I am foreign to the core. Just a truly different person. Just a truly alien, different alien. Space alien of some kind. From outer space. We're talking some real cult shit. You know, if I was an animal, I would be a saber-toothed tiger. Why do I have the moppin'? The moppin' suit. I am the widest chairman of any organization in America. I am the widest chairman of anything. People with European ancestry are Semitic? No, they're not. Conservative demon, go ahead. Go ahead.
What is infra woke? What do you mean by that term?
Sharia patrols, no-go zones, stuff like that.
So you're like a Arab supremacist? Is that correct?
The stuff with the burqas and all that, the minarets, and the strange, loud voices in the evening, and the scary music like from the Ben Shapiro movie.
Okay. So
all that.
Cool. So basically, you're just an Islamist. What does that have to do with Marxism exactly?
Well, Marx was also an Islamist.
Really?
Yep.
Tell me about it. I thought he was an atheist.
He was called the Moor. The Moor. That's what he was known as. His nickname was the Moor. You know who the Moors were?
I don't, actually.
They were black African Muslims who took over Europe.
Oh, really? You took over Europe?
And that's what Marx was.
Okay. Interesting. Good stuff. Good talk.
That's all?
Well, I mean, you're not really speaking to me. You're just kind of ranting about nonsense. So.
You're asking me questions. I'm answering them dutifully.
Yeah. I don't know. That's about all I've got. So appreciate it.
Nobody wants to engage. Illallah from that movie. Bro, I'm so sick of this like woke shit. I'm Arab, I'm Muslim. Who gives a fuck? I used to actually have debates about shit that mattered. Now it's just like all this identity bullshit. I don't give a fuck, man. It's like there's something I feel like is missing, you know? I feel like there's something missing. There's a way that Islam makes you lazy, you know? It's like the universal, the absolute, and then you're just like, you're not sharpening your blade anymore. There's just it's like, yes, it is the religion of peace, but that also creates laziness, right? Am I wrong? That's the main self-criticism Muslims should have. Like, what about the laziness? Even in the paintings of Muslims 1,000 years ago, they was chilling. They're always chilling. And some may say that's the way to go. You know, like why trip about shit? Just chill. Work as little as possible. But I'm also like, I like the Protestant work ethic a lot. I think it's probably the best thing ever created. One of the best things ever in the history of the world is the Protestant work ethic. Much to think about. Much to think about. Much to think about. The devil will find work for idle hands. That is such a baller ass, fire ass thing to say. That's one. Who the fuck came up with that? That is such a fire ass. That is such a great quote. The devil will find work for idle hands. That's so fucking true. That is so true. TPH does not hate Mongolians. You guys are fucking lying. Is it true you said
Picture Muhammad getting raped by a big black nigger. Picture Muhammad getting raped by a big black guy in your head right
That's not TPH at all. We're getting to the point where they're impersonating TPH. Well, the live is over, guys. They're gonna restrict it. Zen, go ahead.
Hi, how you doing today?
What's going on?
So I'm confused. Are you Marxist or Muslim?
It's just like such a stupid prompt. What Marxist today do you know of?
Today?
Yeah.
Many Marxists.
Name one.
Yeah, there are many Marxists today.
Okay, name one.
There's a Japanese Marxist, but he passed away like 10 years ago.
Okay, so he doesn't exist. Name one that's alive right now.
But all of his work is still there. I mean,
Okay, name one right now.
I don't know their names, bro. I have
You
all their
name one
papers.
Marxist today.
Okay, do you want me to pull it up real quick?
That's fucking crazy. Don't fucking waste my time bothering me. You can't even name one Marxist who exists today. Okay, so you don't know what Marxism is. So be open to the fact that I'm cooking with some shit, right? Clearly there are no Marxists prominent enough for you to be able to fucking name right off the cuff. I asked him, yo, name. He goes, there's a Japanese guy who died 10 years ago. That's what makes it worth it. That makes the space. That this whole thing is made up for by that. All right, y'all. I'm heading out. I'm gonna try to work on that essay. All right. So that was a fucking awful TikTok space. Just awful. Just fucking god awful. Infrared vision, the golden star in his path. Okay, I'm fucking hungry, guys. I'm gonna go eat and I'm gonna go to bed. All right. See y'all. Great stream.